We have Dr. Suresh Nair here, professors from IITs, professors from University of Auckland and other universities are here. So this all gives the impression that the conference is doing well. Now, the conference is given a name, Ubiquitous Computing and Communication System for a smarter world. I was just sitting here and I was just thinking what to speak to you. But I was thinking one thing, that if you could develop a technology by which I could be ubiquitous in all the 150 engineering colleges under me. Now if that is not possible, I sit in my office and I get all the 150 pictures in my room. Then also a problem, I cannot see all the 150 together. So you have to develop some kind of an application which will analyze all this data, the big data, and give me the result in a very abridged, fraction. So that is the kind of technological developments which are taking place today. I just asked a question, how is the moon formed? It's 4.5 billion years ago. There was a collision between two planets at that time. That was Theia and the small Earth. And there were a lot of fragments splintering, and what ultimately has happened is they all later recombined and formed the moon. How did it happen? They were broken into pieces and finally got assembled back into the moon, the planet. And we know that we have limited number of planets. Why is it so? What is the force which keeps them together at this solar system? It is nothing but the gravitational force. But here is one thing. We have other forces like magnetic forces. But there's a difference between the two, magnetic force and this. Gravity is always attractive. There is no repulsion. But magnets can have both. Right? So, why did I say all these things from the solar system and all? What I was trying to draw is that there is another gravity which is happening here, which is the digital revolution. The online, what you call every time we say it's online, right? So this is the force, the online force or the digital force is creating a different kind of a solar system. You will also understand here that we had a lot of fragmented companies, but today all these fragmented companies are followed by our big brothers like Google, Amazon, Facebook and Apple. It's happening. All these small fragmented companies have been followed. You develop a startup, you become a startup, you will also be swallowed by one of these groups if you are a smart startup. So, that is what the father Jason, because he is very clever in all this, so that's why he has given the name Ubiquitous. So, this online is there everywhere. I mean, that is why I was just thinking, what is there which today, in today's world, is there anything which is not using digital content or computer or whatever it is, online or whatever it is. Can you name a few things? Cyber, I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. I was just drawing an example of, like, I was born and brought up in a village. I was drawing water from the well. Today you don't draw water from the well, you draw it from the pipe. Even if you have a well, it is being pumped. You use a pump too. But assume that you go back and draw water from the well. Will you use a digital technology in that or not? To me, yes, because you will have an Internet of Things with you which will calculate how much of energy which I have used to draw the water or how much calorie I have shed by drawing the water from the well. So I might be using that. In fact, I may not be using anything to draw the water from that. So every sphere of your activity, you are making use of digital content, the online gravity. So this is what this conference is all about. When you talk about this online, I just wanted to I have been given 18 minutes. But there is a problem which I have seen is that all of you have overshot the timing. The function should have been over at 5:35. Already it's 5:45. So I will take 5 more minutes, 18 plus 5:23. Because I have traveled all the way from Trivandrum to come here. So I have the right to take 5 more minutes. See, there are a few things which, when you talk about the online, the one is that the ubiquitous nature of knowledge. I mean, the knowledge was confined to the educational institutions. The knowledge was confined to books which were available only in the libraries. But today, the knowledge is available everywhere. The best example is MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses. The education, I mean, if you take the other 2 parameters, we say that access, it's accessible, its equity also is already talked about. So, the knowledge is available everywhere. And the knowledge is the economy of the country or anywhere. Then the second part is again, it goes to MOOC. It's a digitization of the knowledge. The first part which I said is that the knowledge is available everywhere. How it has become available everywhere? Because it is due to the digitization of the knowledge. And the third thing is global connectivity. When we started the globalization, there are a lot of hue and cry saying, I do not know whether all those discussions are true or wrong today. You can go back and see the discussions we had 10, 15 years ago where we had this globalization. So many seminars were there. I do not know what people have talked at that point of time. You can rewind and see whether all those is true or not. So, these 3 things if you know. One is the ubiquitous nature of the knowledge, the digitization of the knowledge, and the global connectivity makes this online thing. And that is made available everywhere, and that is the economy that is controlling the whole economy of every state in the country, everywhere in the world. See, you today search with Google, your encyclopedia is Wikipedia, your social media is Facebook, your payments are made through PayPal, your microblogging is done with Twitter, your content management is done with WordPress, your telephoning is done with Skype, your transport is done with Uber, who does not own even a car. And your instant messaging is done through WhatsApp. I had to stop this WhatsApp recently because of this year out issue. So, I will not take much of your time, but still I just wanted to ask a question now today. We talk about artificial intelligence, and that also is part of the game of this online, right? We talk about machine learning, artificial intelligence, all these things are talked about. And we are all making robots. I've been telling some meetings that earlier, several years back, the wealth of a person was measured by the number of camels, number of horses he has. Right, Father? Right. So tomorrow, your wealth will be decided based on how many robots you own. And the type of job, I mean, this depends upon what type of job the robot is going to do it. You must be relaxing at your house and making money. The robots will be doing the work for you. And that is going to be the situation tomorrow. So, the question here is that, are these robots going to replace all the jobs? No jobs. And we all become jobless. Will it happen? Well, then all the colleges will have to be wound. Even today the problem is that because there is no campus placement, so nobody would like to become an engineer. So is that the problem? I mean, will it such a situation happen? I think probably Professor Mark Gohagen will tell you about all these things, and probably would have told you that. I think the 100 Years of Artificial Intelligence, a report which has recently been published by the Stanford. If you can go to that, you will know that. But they say that nothing will happen. It will create jobs only. But our former Reserve Bank governor has recently mentioned that all the robots will take up the job and you all will become jobless. Don't worry, it will not happen. That's what this report of 100 Years of Artificial Intelligence recently, it's an academic exercise. So these robots. We talk about 3D printing. I think the manufacturing is going to have a revolution with the 3D printing. And everybody is talking about big data. See, recently I read somewhere saying that Mark Zuckerberg has his house ready with all sensors and all devices or assistant. We have an assistant called Siri by Google, no? Which does the job. Apple. Okay. So, this assistant is going to take, in my university, normally this vice chancellor is eligible for at least 10 people to be with him as his assistants, PA, PS, secretary, all those things. I have only one lady with me. In fact, most of the things I do it myself, because you have a lot of assistants, digital assistants available, which is much easier and faster. Rather than communicating with somebody and getting him to understand the whole thing is much difficult, and probably the Siri will understand it much better. So we have robots, we have digital assistants, we are now talking about autonomous cars. I have only one thing to tell you all this. I just in between asked a question to Dr. John M. George that you said 100 and odd papers were accepted for this conference out of 600. I just wanted to ask how many were from Tajagiri? How many were from Tajagiri? I just wanted to make an assessment. Where do you stand in terms of research? Fourth. So that, I mean, I do not want the number to be told. So I just wanted to know, I mean, so we have got to make some changes in our research policies. In the sense, traditionally what we have been doing so far is that we go through the literature, and then say that this is the gray area, this is a lacuna, we have to do something more in this particular. I think this is an old practice, we have to stop it. And some researcher at the end of the day spoke for further work, that also should be stopped. Because he is giving a problem to the next person to do the work. What I would like to say is that we are now talking about autonomous cars. How many of us, we are talking about smart city, we are going to have a discussion on smart city. What is that you want there in the smart city? Do you want autonomous cars to be driven on that smart city? Or are we going to talk about evacuated tube transport? What is this evacuated tube transport or hyperloop? This is the result of our mission to the skies. There, when you go there, it's frictionless. If you can have a tube, it's frictionless, your speed will be faster in the tube. You can reach from here to Australia in 1 hour, to US in 2 hours. So I can have breakfast here and then dinner there. I mean, because 24 hours difference, 12 hours. So whatever. So if we do research on evacuated tube transport, we decide this is our priority area. Apple has developed, a lot of companies are now there with this. Even Uber is doing research on autonomous vehicles, right? So we have to decide what is our priority. What is this area? Father, you have to decide what is that. Don't be complacent with minor modifications of what somebody has done. What is that we do today? We go a little above. This is something which we have to think. Otherwise, we will never come up. We will always be like what we are today. We have to think differently. If we think that we have to develop a technology for ETT, yes, please do it. We will get money to do it. We have no such ambitious plans. We are only happy with an incremental change, and that's why we are not getting any Nobel Prizes. So this is something which I think I don't want to take much of your time. So maybe when you go down into smaller things, these are broader macro level research. But if we go down to the micro level, we may be talking about metavision or invocation or telekinesis, or even I require a lot of things to be done on MOOC. The IITs have come out with the NPTL. Today the acceptance of NPTL is not that much because we have got to reformat it into a different one to be accepted by the student community. The data science has to develop further. A lot of analytics will have to be worked out. So these are things which probably requires further research, but one earnest request is that we have to think high. We have good electronic support given by support technologies. You have good institutions, all of you are good. You are much, much better than foreigners are here, but still I tell you, you have much better brain than anybody else in the world. We never make use of it. And especially Malayalis in Kerala are the laziest people in the world when you are here. The only people who have survived is those who have gone outside Kerala and started working somewhere. So we have to change, we have to think big, take ETT or autonomous, I don't know, we should not go to autonomous cars because they have already started doing it, they have reached a certain level. But we have a lot of other things, we have still the solar energy to be tapped. We have abundance, we have, see rain, the water, plenty available here. But there is not even a drop of water to drink. Lot of sunlight, lot of water. These are our natural wealth. So how do we make use of it? And how do we formulate our research into that? With this, I wish that the 6th edition of this ICACC becomes another landmark event. I wish all success, and I thank each and every one present here and the Radagiri management for giving me this opportunity to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I invite Dr. Kunchuriya P. Isaac to formally release the ICACC 2016 proceedings by handing over the CD to Professor Mark Gilligan, Director, E-Research, University of Auckland.
Thank you, sir. May we invite Reverend Father Dr. Jose Cletus Plackle, CMI, Provincial and Manager of the CMI Sacred Heart Province, to present a memento to Dr. Kunchuriya P. Isaac, Vice Chancellor of Kerala Technological University, on behalf of Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology, as a token of our gratitude.
Thank you, sir. Dr. John M. George, Dean and Vice Principal of Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology, started his career as an academician with TKM College of Engineering. He secured his doctoral degree from IIT Madras. He has published and presented a number of research papers in the various national and international journals and seminars, besides having been part of the various research projects. He was principal of Bishop Jerome Institute of Technology, Kollam. We are honored to invite Dr. John M. George to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected President of the function, Reverend Father Jose Cletus Plackle, CMI, Provincial and Manager, CMI Essex Province. Honorable guest, Dr. Kunchuriya P. Isaac, Vice Chancellor, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, Kerala. Professor Mark, Dr. Suresh Nair, Dr. M. Krishnan, Principal Asset, Reverend Fathers, Sisters, staff members, the panelists, delegates from Cochin Metro Rail Limited, delegates from Smart City, Kakanad, delegates from Nest, delegates from Info Park companies, delegates from other industries, members of the media and other well-wishers. This is the 6th IEEE International Conference on Advances in Computing and Communication with the theme of Ubiquitous Computing and Communication System for a Smarter World. When great and dedicated minds get together, progress and innovation naturally follow. RSET is deeply devoted to the cause of blazing trails wherever possible. And to encourage RSET in this endeavor, I must thank the eminent people who have come forward to participate in this international conference today. First of all, on behalf of RSET, my sincere thanks goes out to Reverend Father Jose Cletus Plackle, CMI, for his presence today, symbolizing stability and commitment towards the cause of innovation. Thank you very much, Reverend Father. It's my privilege to thank Dr. Pinjariappi ICACC for evincing a keen interest in the efforts of ICACC and for honoring us with his presence here today, despite being a very busy man. ICACC joins me in thanking you, sir. A hearty thanks goes to Professor Mark from University of Auckland for sparing his valuable time to participate in this conference today. On behalf of ICACC, I thank you, sir. The entire ICACC joins me in thanking Reverend Father Jason Paul CMI for his efforts behind organizing a conference of such international standards. May God grant you the wisdom and strength to organize many more such programs. Thank you, Father. On behalf of ICACC family, my sincere thanks goes out to Dr. Yomi Krishnan, Principal ICACC, for his untiring efforts behind every function and program in the college. Thank you, sir. Special thanks goes to Dr. Suresh Nair from Nest, Kochi. Thank you, sir. It's my privilege and pleasure and privilege to thank the principals and staff of various colleges, all the delegates from respective companies and from the industry. Your presence here validates and augments the seriousness of purpose which marks everything that the ICACC set out to do. Thank you all. A most sincere and warm thanks also goes out to the members of the media and other well-wishers whose goodwill elevates the college to higher and higher levels of honor and prestige. Special thanks goes out to Dr. Jobin, Mr. Binu, Dr. D.T. Das Krishna and their team for the excellent work done behind this particular show. Thank you all. I thank all the heads of the departments, teachers and students who are present here and make this function here. Thank you all. Special thanks to Dr. John Jose from IIT Guwahati, Mr. Origin, representative from ICACC Alumni Association, Dr. Jimson Matthew, and special thanks goes to Chavara Vision channel for video capturing of the entire process. Thank you all. If I miss anyone, I thank each and every one of you. Thank you all for your presence.
With this, we come to the end of the formal inauguration function of ICACC 2016. Now, it's time for the panel discussion on smart technologies for a smarter city, moderated by Father Dr. Jason Paul CMI, Professor RSET. I invite you, Father, to handle the discussion.
The panel discussion, as you know, the topic of the discussion is smarter technologies for a smart city. First of all, I have to say that this is the second edition of this panel discussion. Dr. Hari, Mr. Hari, I called you to the street. Somebody else is coming in? Please, from KMR. Who else is coming from Metro? I called out your name. Oh, okay. So that's okay then. So he will be on the dais for some technical reasons, which I understand now. Okay. So I have to happily announce that this is the second edition of this panel discussion. Last year, we had a very similar panel discussion, and that came as a thought process that we need to bridge the gap between research, academia, and industry. So that was the thinking behind it. And also we wanted to contribute directly to the society. So we thought that it's better to actually talk about a city. And that time, the concept of smart city was just coming up, and Prime Minister has just announced the 100 Smart Cities project in India. And Kochi was a front runner in actually getting onto that race. And after 1 year, when we are here, now we know that Kochi is almost in, and not almost in. We are fifth. Yeah. So Sohan sir is very enthusiastic about that. And he says that we are not only in, we are the fifth in the race to smart cities and in terms of its preparations and implementations. And the thing is, we need to know what smart city is. So, before we say that we are on the 5th in the race, so what smart city actually means. So before going into the discussions, I have to say that we've got a wonderful panel here. Wonderful panel. And from the academia, we got the Vice Chancellor himself. He has kindly consented to be on the dais in the panel discussion. Dr. Kujaria, ICACC. And then we got Mark. He will also give us a kind of international flavor. What is smart city in outside of India? So he could give some insights into that. And again, we got Nadi Pillai. Nadi Pillai is from New Zealand again, Manukok Institute of Technology. That is another MIT. When I heard about MIT, I thought, my God, is there an MIT in New Zealand? So that is Manukok Institute of Technology, MIT. And he's also an international person. He was born and brought up in South Africa, as far as I understand. But he has got some Indian ancestry. But it is the first time he is actually coming to India. Just visiting for the first time. So very welcome to India, guys. And again, we've got Mr. Balasubramanian, a very important person, and that is, he's representing the Smart City Kochi as we know it from the very beginning. We had Smart City when we hear about Smart City in Kochi, it was all about Smart City that we got in Kakinada. And Balasubramanian sir, or they call him as Balu. Is it Balu? And Balu sir is the assistant